Screen time salutations to all you internet dwellers out there, and welcome to another episode of Screen Time Continuum. Happy Sunday to you all out there, or whenever you're listening to this, and a very happy Sunday to my co-host Keelan. What is going on, man?
Not much. Happy Sunday, brother. It is not that super, but it
Not
is
that super.
definitely happening for the boys.
It is. Yes, Sundays for the boys now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We really hope that you're having a wonderful evening or a day or whenever you're listening to this. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We do this, every Wednesday and Sundays, and it means so much that you guys tune in with us and give us your feedback. So, without much further ado, we're going to be talking about The Boys and episode 5, which aired on Friday. And Keelan, you got the title down on this one?
Yes, the title of this is The Last Time to Look on This World of Lies.
That's a long title, very
Yeah.
verbose.
The longest title that I can remember writing so far.
Yeah, they're usually pretty short. But yeah, so we just finished watching episode 5, and we're going to give you guys our thoughts and talk about some of the points that we liked about it, some of the points we may have not liked about it, and then continue this discussion every Sunday until season 3 is over. And then we will give you our final decision about the season as a whole. But let's not bury the lead here. Keelan, episode 5, what were your first impressions?
Man. Episode 5 felt like a reintroduction to the characters and their roles and where we're going. It kind of felt a little removed from the I wouldn't say from the universe of the boys, but from the storyline a little bit. But I can't say I can't say I hated it. I can't say I hated it. But definitely not quite the episode I expected, but still enjoyable. I didn't mind it coming in this week. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite thing to watch this week.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? And maybe, I don't know, I didn't pull up the IMDb, but this was guest directed. This
Wow.
felt like an
Yeah.
episode that was guest directed. I don't know why, but there was just certain elements of that didn't gel as easily and normally as it does in The Boys, and I found myself like scrunching up my face a couple times about the political stuff that didn't really feel all that relevant, and then the musical number that was also in this too. So it did feel like kind of a departure from normalcy, which is fine, but
Right.
I'm wondering, it did feel kind of a little bit different.
That was our second video montage or singing montage with Kimiko specifically.
Right. Yeah, which seems to be like a running theme for her now, which I don't necessarily mind, but it did feel a little bit tonally different than what we've seen before. That I'm not really complaining about. For me, it was just the heavy-handedness with current political climates that I was just like, you guys are doing so good about creating this fantasy world that's all about escapism, and I don't have to think about all the crappy stuff that's happening in the real world. And then you have to put that little stuff in there, and I'm like, come on, don't taint the story. But
Don't do
yeah,
don't taint it.
now those were my first impressions. Not my favorite episode of this season yet. There's still a lot to go for this season. There's still a lot to discover. I do like the addition of Soldier Boy so far. But yeah, first impressions, a mixed bag. So Keelan, where do you want to start this conversation at?
I want to start by I'm over here trying to speed look for any directorial changes for this particular episode. I'm not seeing anything, but I am skimming as we are on air.
Yeah, no problem. I doubt that it is, but it did feel like almost like Seth Rogen was the director, and that
You
may
know
be
what?
just because he was there in the show.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I could. Wow, yeah, that this was kind of more his style.
and his politics,
Yeah, 1,000%. You say that, and I actually forgot until you just said that he is definitely a guest star.
and he's a
Very small
producer.
cameo. Yeah, I saw he was a producer on this episode. You
Oh,
know what?
the whole series.
Oh, and I didn't know he was a producer on the entire series. Actually, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
that's dope.
Yeah,
Thank you, Seth Rogen.
yeah.
um, well, hey, not really sure, but yeah, as you were attempting to do, let's move on forward with the story itself.
Hmm.
So, let's start at the very beginning. We open with MM looking at research videos of when Soldier Boy was being experimented on by the Russians, and it looks pretty gruesome. But it is even worse when you hear the way Soldier Boy explains it. That
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
man.
I mean, I guess that's what you would do, right? If you were a scientist and you had a superhuman, that you would
That doesn't die.
stick a machine gun in his mouth and pull the trigger. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, they were really testing his resilience there. I do
Well,
love how heavily referencing Captain America and Winter Soldier that whole character is. It's just so
mhm.
like, it's basically Captain America / Winter Soldier, like in an alternate universe.
I'm just waiting for us to find out. Well, I think we already get the hint of what triggers Soldier Boy and how all that plays out.
Right.
But so while he's watching these videos, we see that Kimiko still hasn't healed. Huey is sick from the V24. But the butcher and mother's milk dynamic, I really enjoyed in this episode. There needed to be conflict between them at some point because they are two masculine leader types, but
Mhm.
they're two different types of leader. Now, even though they're on the same team, I saw this whole their conflict coming. I just wasn't sure how it was going to come up. I like the way it's going,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
mm, and I like the way it's going only because nobody's gonna need to physically beat or hurt Butcher. Somebody has to be able to just stand up to him in general,
Mhm.
and it has to be somebody he equally respects.
Yeah, there kind of feels like there might be an opening for a new feud between Butcher and MM that we
Mhm,
might see in this later season or even the next season.
mhm.
I could see very clearly how it could be, Billy and Huey against like Kimiko, Frenchie, and MM
Oh, for
in the
sure.
future.
Yeah, I think I said this last episode. There definitely is a Civil War style situation brewing. We were kind of giving it on the other end as if it were going to be in the seven, and we see how that's going. Now it's happening in the boys.
Hmm.
I don't think in the boys there's going to be as much of an extreme power shift as there was on the vault side.
Right.
Um, yeah. So I definitely see what you just discussed or what you just brung up. I see that happening, no question. I see that being a necessity at this point, just based on the discussions we've heard.
Right. Yeah. All right. What's next?
Um, Supersonic is
Homelander's
labeled
losing
a
it.
well. Of course, Homelander is losing it. Homelander is losing it, and they're having the board meeting
Hmm.
where I guess you just can't say shit. If he didn't know about
Yeah.
it before you spoke, you might want to shut up.
It's so funny because you see Homelander like regretting the decision he made
Oh, immediately.
almost immediately. Once they started talking about ratings and
Mhm.
metrics and all of that stuff. So it's
This is what he heard.
yeah,
Blah 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 blah
pretty
blah
much.
blah blah blah. Numbers. EBB.
Yeah, but kind of. But and then also at the end of the episode, he becomes like Edgar. What's his name?
Oh, Stan Egger? Nah, not at
Stan
all.
Edgar. Well,
We saw that totally different.
he becomes more like him because he's more concerned about the numbers.
No, we saw that totally different.
Okay. What did you see it as?
Um, and I'll say it now. He did not give a shit and doesn't give a shit about the numbers. He's fucking scared.
Oh, he's scared of Soldier Boy.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah, that could be it too. Yeah, maybe he knows that Soldier Boy can take people's powers away.
I think somehow he's aware of that.
Hmm.
If he's not aware of that, he at least is aware that Soldier Boy is as strong, if not stronger than him.
Hmm.
He's for sure aware of that. And the fact that he's still alive after all this time and nobody knew how, what, when, or where, he's going to deny his existence. He's going to deny that he knows of him. I mean, let's think of how he even went about that. We're not jumping too far ahead on that,
Hmm.
but how he went about that is when it was brung to him. What did he say? Oh, it's Stan Edgar and them and their ruse. just to kind of misdirect and leave me out. Like, bruh, nah, they wouldn't. That's too much collateral damage for Stan Edgar.
Yeah. Um, although maybe it was a plot by Vought to get Homelander out at some point, you know? Like,
I think from way back in the day before Homelander. But we'll get to that in a minute.
well,
as
I
we
mean,
get to Criminal
technically it
Counsel.
is, right? The boys work
Yeah,
for Vought now. So
everybody works for
them
Vought.
going to Russia was a Vought mission.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just
yeah,
wasn't fully
everybody works for
sanctioned
Vought.
by them. Yeah.
At this point, I feel like Vought is like every other entity in every other superhero universe. The government bankrolls the good guys and the bad guys. That's how they
Mhm.
keep the shit going.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we certainly see that. I am looking forward to the face down between Soldier Boy and Homelander for sure.
I am looking forward to that, but I'm also looking forward to the face down between Homelander and Butcher.
I honestly, yeah, I
And now
mean
they're
that
Eskimo brothers.
that'll probably happen too, but I would love to have just one scene where Soldier Boy just hands Homelander his ass,
Oh
and
yeah.
he has to go lick his wounds for a little while.
Oh yeah. Somebody has to punch him in his mouth one time.
Hmm.
Um,
He's like Joffrey. It's like by the time Joffrey died, everybody was just begging for it to happen.
he
And
is
so-
Joffrey. We just didn't see
Yes.
him grow up on Game of Thrones.
He's just Joffrey with superpowers. Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So Homelander has the board meeting, but then the Deep is named the head of crime and analytics. Why? Just what? That's a bad decision.
Well,
We
I
saw how
mean-
bad that was very fast.
Okay, so this is where we get into the political stuff, right? Because they're so smart and they think that their politics are so subtle that you won't catch it. Homelander is now just an analog for Trump. And
Mhm.
Trump, this whole thing with him moving around the Vought staff is a direct comparison to Trump cycling through White House
Supreme
staff.
Court and- oh, okay.
Well, White House staff. Just that he always had new staff because people were fired and quit and fired and all that stuff. So it's just it's them being like, oh, look how Trumpian Homelander
How
is.
Trumpian.
You know, yeah, it's like,
Is it-
oh,
and
he's
that-
turning into Trump. He even has blonde hair. Maybe it'll be a little bit more orange by the end of this.
And that's the irony of the nuclear changes to Soldier Boy and Russia. And
Of
wow.
course,
Okay.
of course, they're being very heavy-handed, and this was done, probably in 2020. So I get it, but like also, we're gonna look back at things like that 10 years from now and be like, what was that? Why? What
Mhm.
was this a reference to?
Yeah, there's
You
a lot of
know,
shows
it's
that are
like-
like that. Unfortunately, they were great in the moment, but you look back and you're like, ah, damn, that
Yeah.
hurt you.
Aged like sour milk. Yeah.
Oh, yogurt or cottage cheese?
No, neither. No, not properly aged.
So yeah, the Deep Supersonic is labeled a drug addict, and he is said to have overdosed. Yeah, guess
Overdose
nobody
on
saw his
on
body.
Homelander fists.
Right. Like, sorry guys. But yeah, so Starlight comes home and Huey tells her, how he basically messed up, but also how Soldier Boy is running loose in Russia.
Hmm. Yeah.
Bruh.
I'm
that's
a little
not-
bit. I was a little bit fatigued by the Huey Starlight thing going on. Like she's constantly,
I'm over them.
yeah, me too, dude. She's constantly mad at him for something, and he constantly like won't just tell her what's up. You know what I mean? It's like they're both being shitty. And
Well, no, apparently he's now, he's telling her everything. And
but
she's
then
not
she moved the
mentally-
goalpost. She moved the
Right.
goalpost, and she was like, "What about no keeping secrets?" And it's just
Right.
like, oh my god,
It was
you
like,
just want to fight. You just want to
there are-
fight.
Right. It's like, I didn't keep secrets, lady. I just told you everything.
Yeah. But you weren't gonna tell me if I didn't show up here,
Bitch. Duh.
right?
Like,
That's
don't
just
use
need
that
to
against
know.
me. I told you that.
Yeah.
I think that was the coldest part to me when she said that, because I was like, but he told you that he wasn't gonna tell you. That's not keeping a secret. That's telling you
Right.
the truth about
Right.
what you need to know.
Right. And it's like if you don't tell somebody like during your day that you I don't know, you blew your nose. Is that really keeping a secret, or is it like just not telling somebody
We're
something?
gonna tag this section of the show mansplaining.
It is 100%. We'll put a stamp on it.
Yeah, I just realized we're making this way worse than it could have been. Oh
Nah,
well.
no, but it is getting a little bit tiresome between Huey and Starlight.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't like this whole like, oh, what is their relationship? Are they going to break up? Are they going to stay together? They
I
were
hope
great at the beginning of this episode. They were fine, and then at the end of this episode, now they might break up. Like,
I hope she lets Homelander hit it one time.
oh god,
I do, just so she can be the person who's discussed it with herself and with everyone else, and everyone else is like looking at her like she's nuts, and then she just lashes out. Now she can be the bad person for a few episodes.
and they, I mean, and they totally nerfed her too. Like Starlight isn't a weakling; she could actually pose a threat and be useful, but they don't ever let her do anything. They sideline her the entire show.
She's pretty.
She's pretty, but like, yeah, and I guess that's probably like, oh, they did that to Maeve too, so they're just doing it to Starlight, which I get, but like, I don't know. Starlight feels like she has more agency and she could probably be an asset, but I also felt like they nerfed her powers a little bit. Now she needs to make sure that there's like an electricity around, and I
But
don't
even
know.
that doesn't make sense, because if that's the case, when she's outside, like on a rooftop per se, even somebody like Homelander should be a little concerned.
You would think so, but apparently he has no worries about that.
Because if she can get to a generator, or she could see or surge power from about 3 or 4 generators, pretty sure even Homelander is going to take a nap.
Yeah, you got to wonder how much electricity some Homelander would be able to take, and
Right.
if she could harness enough of it, then might be able to do something with it. But she doesn't even shoot with electricity; she shoots pure energy. She
Right.
shoots light energy,
Which
so
means it should. Okay, now it don't make sense.
I know. Yeah, it's a little bit weird, which is kind of why I'm frustrated with her character, because she should be kicking ass.
It
and
sounds
doing
like
stuff.
she should have the same powers as old girl from the Runaways.
Oh, which one was that? That was the one with the bear, right? No, that was the
That's
Runaway. Oh, so there was like the New Mutants. That's the one I
you're
was
talking about New
thinking.
Mutants. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Runaways was the one with like the light being the alien
Right.
that had like the religion, like her dad had the religion, like Starlight supposed basically should be one of them.
Yeah, she should be able to turn herself into like a light being given
Right.
enough energy. Like that would be pretty cool.
Make Electro look like a punk.
Yeah. So I don't know why they have to nerf her and then make her the naggy girlfriend. Like there doesn't seem to be any reason for it except to frustrate us.
Right. Yeah, and it does that.
Yeah.
So let's get to the nitty and the gritty. Butcher orders more Temp V, but he gets a whole lot more than Temp V.
He sure does, doesn't he?
That's interesting how that went down. I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't.
Yeah, me too. I saw it coming for sure. When she went into the house with him.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Also, I also felt like there was going to be a misdirect there where Butcher was going to kill her or something, but then we kind of see what happens to her at the end of this episode too. So Maeve might be kaput.
Right. I guess Butcher's gonna go try to save her, huh?
Maybe that would be kind of cool. Might be a good character plot for Butcher. He has to go save a soup after he just told her that he was going to kill her, and then they had sex with each other.
Right. He said he was gonna kill all soup, and then he bottomed her out. I don't think it's gonna matter if he could save her.
Right. I don't even think he believes that anymore. Like, I don't think he believes he's going to be killing all the soups. I think
he wants the permanent thing, like Huey does.
I think so too. Yeah. I think both of them do. I think they're probably at the end of this season, they're going to come across the permanent formula, and then they'll have to decide whether they want to take it or not.
Right. I think Butcher won't, Huey will. And of course, Starlight's going to be mad at him. Right. There's going to be a cure, and she's going to find the cure, and she's going to use the cure. So then she's going to be human. That's
right. Oh God, I hope not. That'd just be so tedious. It'd be so tedious.
I mean, she doesn't use powers now, so it wouldn't really change anything.
That's true. That is very true. She doesn't use it. I mean, she has super strength too, and she never uses that. So never
Never,
uses it.
never seen her bust a grape.
Well, and interesting that we talked about the power dynamic shifts. Like there is literal power shifts going on within the boys. Kimiko
Yeah.
losing her powers, and
Yes.
Butcher and Huey gaining powers.
Powers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I thought was good because Kimiko didn't want her powers.
she never did. Yeah,
She never wanted her powers. So for her to kind of lose her powers, she was not only happy, like she's like, all right, we can go now. Like there's no reason for him to keep us, but Frenchie has to do the job for little Nina.
yeah.
And little Nina wants her job done.
Which I felt was a little bit contrived too. Like, why did we have to do this? But I get it too, because now Kimiko's going to have to go save French, and she might actually go voluntarily take the V again to save Frenchie.
Yeah, and she's already a soldier, so
Right.
ain't like she can't pick up a gun, slap that thing to work.
Oh yeah, sir. I'm sure she'd be fine just doing that, but I think that she might consider taking the powers again if it means getting Frenchie back.
Right.
Yeah.
So A Train is pulled into that meeting, and then they go to
So uncomfortable.
super uncomfortable. Like, and that's why Ashley needs her. Man, listen, Ashley is gonna get done worse than the chick before
Stillwell.
her. Yeah, worse than Stillwell for sure, no question.
Oh, she's
And
gonna have to. She's gonna have
the other
to.
Ashley is gonna be a pushover, and she's gonna be like, "Fuck this, we gotta kill these fuckers."
Yeah, or that, or he just Homelander kills both of them, which I can
Maybe
think
both.
I can see happening.
Maybe both, but Ashley's definitely dead,
Oh yeah,
Not-
Ashley's done. She's done.
and she knows it.
Mhm.
I think that's the coldest part. She knows it. She just don't know when. Which Starlight highlights in the whole you know, debacle of Maeve
Mhm.
disappearing. Which I thought that was just kind of dumb of Maeve. You have sex with Butcher and you go back to the tower?
Yeah.
You didn't assume he would smell him? He knows Butcher? He knows Butcher. You look, you aren't the only woman that the both of them have slept with now.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Maeve is because of her like indestructibility probably less threatened by Homelander, although
yeah, for sure.
who knows.
She's less threatened by Homelander, but it doesn't like she's not invincible.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, like he can still break her bones. It takes a lot more to break her, but she can still break bones and stuff.
Mhm.
So I mean, she can die.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Just probably take a while.
Yeah, I'm like, what does it take? I don't know. Probably have to sever her head or something. She might be like the immortal, you know, like if you can dismember her, then all right, she's done. But
Right.
if you can't, good luck. She's coming back together.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't quite understand why she would put herself in that situation, but she did, and I did enjoy seeing Black Noir and Homelander openly working together. Like, yes, finally somebody made it clear that Black Noir is on Homelander's side because we know that, but nobody showed.
Yeah, he's Black Noir is just the company man now.
Right.
I think we'll probably get more about what happened to him. I know that he was blown up back in the Korea War, or Vietnam, or wherever they were.
But we still don't know what his ability is.
That's exactly my point. Like he was kind of like a ninja back then, but obviously he has invincibility and super, agility. So
I'll tell you what, I have a theory on that. I think that he had regenerative powers, and whatever this blast is that comes out of Soldier Boy now, he was hit with that weapon in the face.
Maybe.
And it didn't kill him, but it did stop his ability from being able to regenerate and heal his face. And that's also why he's a mute, because it melted his mouth.
Yeah, I always thought it was just the antithesis of Deadpool. It was like, oh, Deadpool's scarred and he's mangled, but he talks a lot. So now we have a scarred, mangled, invincible guy that doesn't speak at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I don't know if Soldier Boy had the blast power before the Russians got to
I
him.
don't think it was Soldier Boy's blast power at that time. I think it was just a
Oh, okay,
different
something
weapon that
else.
they had,
Right,
and they put the weapon inside of him.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Oh, but so on the A Train thing, so he's pulled into that weird ass meeting, uncomfortable as hell, and then he's agreed to go down to his town hall thing with
Blue
Blue
Hawk or
Blue Hawk.
whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was
Blue
fucking yours.
Hawk. Blue
I was gonna
Hawk.
call him Blue Jay.
It's so on the
Asshole.
nose. Yeah. I like that he's some sort of Italian too.
Yeah, yeah. What do you? Let's just keep it honest. More crime happens, bro. What numbers are you reading? What numbers are you reading? You
Yeah,
asshat.
I know.
Um,
I don't know. Like that whole thing doesn't seem A Traden's storyline right now just seems like it's a meta pander, and there's no real need for A Train to have a storyline at this point. But I don't know.
totally
I mean,
unnecessary
like,
character.
yeah, it was very quite unnecessary. The whole Kente cloth suit. I know they're kind of making fun of it, but it's also like, are you like? I don't know
Yeah,
what you're trying to do with this character. Like, he's supposed to be like a Kaepernick style character now. Like,
I think yes. Actually, I think that's the
that's
point.
what they're
So,
trying to do with it,
so
right?
I think what they're doing with the A Train character is you have the guy who, they worked their whole life to get to this point, and then they kind of realize, like, damn, I've been the sellout. Like, I've been talking about this person, and like, oh, it's me.
Yeah, yeah. I think that that's fine. And I think him earnestly trying to help, his brother and his friend and all that stuff is cool too. I just think it's incredibly cartoony the way that whole thing happened. It's just
Mhm.
like, okay, cool, man. I guess. It's-
Yeah. Um, but as far as the because his like yeah, his the way his whole play out and he got to that point. But the scene itself, it's weird to me that they would utilize the town hall aspect of it.
Mhm. Well, even more so it's the community center, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. The community
Yeah.
center. But yeah, it's kind of the same
Yeah,
ballpark.
of course.
And that for me, it kind of lends back to that whole political thing. It's like that's the schools, the churches, the every community issue or mass thing that's happened lately, whether it's the police or some civilian incident or domestic terrorists. It's like they all kind of have that follow up of, oh, it was this group over here that caused it, and I think that was the not the scene, but the follow up. That one little moment they had, maybe two scenes later, where he's on the news and he's like, "Yeah, I was
It was
down here in the
Antifa.
community. Yeah, it's
Right.
Antifa and a couple of bad apples." Like, motherfucker.
Well, in
Like,
the real world, though, the news would say that Antifa doesn't exist and it's an
it's
idea.
true.
So, yeah,
But
I get what you mean, though.
yeah,
Yes, absolutely. It's the scapegoating of the other side. And I
that's
don't
the wrong
mind.
word for scapegoating.
I don't mind having like a commentary on that. But I also think it's like, okay, so like, I think they're lumping way too many things into this like basket of deplorables,
Mhm.
and it's just one of those things where I'm like, come on, dude, like this cartoony character, I get it, what the point you're trying to make, but I also think that you're painting with such a broad brush here, and to just sort of like put your thumb in the eye of people is not really good form. I think that that's what it is. It's like, okay, yeah, we know those people are stupid. I don't need to hear that these people are stupid over and over and over again, because the reason that they hate you is because you call them stupid over and over and over again. You know what I mean? And so it's like, why would you kick somebody while they're down? They're down. They lost. It's like, I understand the worry, but maybe don't kick your neighbor while they're down.
When
Maybe.
when else would I kick them, Nick?
I know. Right. Yeah.
You want me
That's
to
no
kick them when they
fun.
can run and hit me back?
That's no
No
fun. Yeah.
way.
No, I know. Yeah. But, like, I think that could have been handled a lot better with a lot better commentary. And I feel like they just went for the cheap thing. They
Yeah.
went for the cheap thing that was easy. The guy saying all lives matter, all lives, like, where did that even come from?
Why did he get
And
so triggered off of that? Yeah,
it's-
I didn't get that one. I was like, wait.
exactly. It's like,
Dude,
dude,
I was
come
honestly
on.
sitting there like, all right, I can see how both sides are heated up right now. And then he comes,
For
well,
sure, of course.
all lives matter. Like, wait, what?
He's just cranked it up to 12.
Like,
Like,
all right, Officer Blue Hawk.
right. And then I'm just gonna start beating the crap out of everybody, even though I'm owned by a
Right.
giant corporation.
Superpower. But and that's even kind of part of the thing. And even though, yes, I know it's talking about cops, it's not just about cops. Um, People in powerful positions or when they know they have the right backing, I mean, you see it in any entity around. Man, the
Yeah,
shit I've seen. So
certainly.
I thought that was
But it only
unnecessary.
seems, but I think it's, you're absolutely right, and it is a very real thing. But I think my biggest problem is that there's a blindness that it happens on the other side. They
Well, no,
only
yeah.
think that it happens on one side, where one side's doing all the evil stuff, and then they're like, "But we're just angels. We don't do anything like
Well,
that.
no,
What are
and
you
that's why I
talking?"
said I think that part might have been just that little situation might have been a little unfair because it's like, hold on, wait. He walked into the den like this ain't gonna go well to begin with.
Yeah, of course. And you could see that from the beginning of the scene. Everybody's like, why is this happening right
It's
now?
like that,
You know?
and I think that's where it's also like Blue Hawk goes without saying character shit, but
Hmm.
it's like, and this is where we get back to A Train. What are you doing, dude?
And that's
We
what his
don't
friend sent to
like
him.
you.
Right, right.
It hasn't. You don't have to try to do any of this. We don't like you, and every time you try, you just make it worse.
And I think that that's a decent commentary about the sort of people who become detached from the working class, right?
Mhm,
A
mhm,
Train is a millionaire. He's wealthy. He's got the world on his, like, aside from not having his speed anymore, he's got everything basically.
mhm.
And yeah, when people get to that level of society, you can't have a beat on what's happening in the neighborhoods. You can't. I mean, like, you're not gonna know, and
Right.
people are gonna look at you funny. People are gonna look at you funny when you show back up and you're wearing a nice, expensive Vought suit, and
Yeah.
everybody's in their casuals.
Well,
Like,
and something that people don't know is when you leave the certain confines of the area you're from, the news is different. So
mm,
when you're in one area, you're getting the same news, and when they're in a
right,
different area, they're getting a different news. But when they're traveling areas, they're getting all the news, and you're just getting the same news.
right.
So that also changes perspective, but that's a
Hmm.
different man. That should be a TV show right there,
Travel broadening the mind. Yeah.
man. Um. Oh yeah. So in that blast, so we have Soldier Boy. He gets to a airport. Somehow he gets over to New York, and he hears a Russian song playing. That triggers him.
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out was it a phrase in the song or the song itself or the just Russian itself, but whatever it is, it triggered him and he went off like a bomb
Hmm.
and blew up what half a block, three buildings, something like that.
I will just say, I repeat, Heroes did this.
Yeah.
Heroes did this. They had the guy that was a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
um, but yes, he does. I believe it's probably just a trigger. So obviously, he's suffering from PTSD after being
Mhm.
tortured for decades or whatever.
Right.
So he's unstable. That's
Mhm.
very obvious. And
It was 19 people.
yeah, and that's just a small blast. I mean, I assume that he could probably make pretty big blasts, and they all seem to be nuclear blasts. So
Mhm.
not good, not good, not good.
He himself is radioactive. Just
Right.
walking. Um. So yeah, after the blast, everybody gets back together. MM is still pissed, but he decides to agree to work with Butcher and Huey again. Kimiko is in the hospital still, but uh Frenchie has gotten snatched up by little Nina.
I
Little
thought they were
Nina.
gonna kill him, dude. I
I,
thought that
I
was
thought so
it. I thought we were gonna see his brains get splattered against that coffee machine.
too. Yeah.
Seriously,
But hey, you
because
know what? We haven't seen him since, so we don't know yet.
I know, but I mean, like Kimiko just kissed him. He was all, Twitter pated and whatever. And I was like, oh, they're gonna shoot him. No.
No. But I mean, at that point, what we have Black Noir, or excuse me, we have Maeve is
Out of service. Yeah.
kidnapped, and we have Frenchie is kidnapped. So and that's two of theirs. That's not one on each side. That's two of theirs.
Yeah, the boys just suffered a major blow.
Pretty sure they're
And
about to come
Kimiko's out
for
of
Starlight.
service.
Yeah, Kimiko's out of service. Pretty sure they're coming for Starlight. Not sure how long Butcher has to die.
Yeah.
Not sure how this shit's gonna affect Huey in a minute.
Yeah, I could see Huey getting real crazy.
I could see Huey getting crazy, but I could also see us discovering through Huey that there's a way to survive because the way his system is set up. Like he might be one of those people who, if he were to get regular V, he'd get like multiple abilities. You know what I mean? So with him doing temporary V, it wouldn't harm him as much because the way his cellular structure is already set up.
Or they could kill. Well, I mean, I don't know how you. I don't think you can kill Huey and Butcher, but you could kill one of them.
I think Butcher has to go before Huey.
Yeah, I mean, Huey is the main character in the comics, so it'd be kind of hard to kill him.
Right.
Yeah, maybe Butcher. Yeah, I could see that because he's kind of the main driver of the group anyways. But he's been away and back and away and back so many times. It's like, are they going to do that again? Or they're just going to take him away and then maybe he comes back again at the end? I'm not sure.
Maybe. I mean, you never know. It's Butcher.
Right.
And you look, and the interesting thing about Butcher is he's the one who had all the information on everybody who's involved, even though he didn't know that at first. But he's like the glue between everybody. He's the one that nobody really knows anybody unless you put Butcher in the mix.
Right.
So to kill him off,
and nobody gets anything done unless Butcher is in the mix. I mean, yeah,
cunts, I tell you what to do and you do it.
Yeah, the boys wouldn't exist if Butcher wasn't making them do the things that they're doing. Maybe they all are done, though,
Yeah, maybe they're done, but maybe not. I mean, who knows? Maybe Kimiko comes back stronger than ever, but she doesn't realize that she has to actually try. Like she wanted to live before. She's so depressed and out of it, maybe she didn't want to live.
Yeah, she might get like that resurrection thing where it's like the hero loses their powers and then they realize that with the powers they can actually do a lot of good. So they choose to be powerful again and take that, great power. Well, they even have that line, right? With great power. I think Butcher says it. With great power means with great certainty that you're going to become a cunt. Yeah, doing the whole great power versus breeds great responsibility line.
Well, and to prove that, though, the reoccurring of the powers, you have the moment where MM is offered some more and Huey is offered some more, or some in general for MM, and MM's like, hell no. Like the whole point, like you guys are losing sight of the point. Like the whole point is nobody's supposed to be able to do any of this stuff.
Right. It's the Nietzsche quote, right? And beware when hunting monsters that you do not yourself become one. Yeah.
That's right. But then from there, Starlight goes to the only human monster it seems left. MM's not a monster, but it seems like the only human monster left, and that is Ashley. And tries to appeal to whatever is left of the human inside of her. And that little human poked its little head out for a moment. Oh boy, he did it. It was like, she's right. Oh my god, get out.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm not
a moment of weakness. Right.
Yeah. And in Ashley's defense, she knows she's not far enough from Homelander to not get killed for just saying.
And she couldn't keep it from him anyways. I mean, she's a mess around him.
Right. That's absolutely true.
Yeah. I mean, nobody can keep a secret from Homelander. Obviously, he's very obsessed about people trying. Yeah,
all kind of jib jab. How would you keep a secret from him?
Yeah, that's why he likes Butcher, because he's the only person whose heart doesn't race when he's next to him.
Right. Well, Butcher doesn't give a shit. He's not afraid of
Mm-mm.
him. Oh yeah, well we already discussed the Kimiko singing montage. Actually, I think that was Judy Garland. I don't remember.
It
I could
was.
get that
It
song.
was.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird because I didn't exactly catch the song itself, but I vaguely was like, and then Judy Garland? Huh.
Well, and it's I don't know if they did this on purpose, but with such a heavily with an episode with such heavy racial commentary, they chose a woman that routinely wore blackface to do a musical number with.
What do you mean?
Judy Garland routinely wore blackface.
Really?
Yes.
Not aware.
Yeah, and that's where I'm coming from with this whole stuff too. It's like, okay, if you really want to talk about racial issues, sure, but then don't go make Judy Garland your music number. She literally did blackface.
Wow.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I had that might have given me bigger question marks had I been aware of that history.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, guys, like you don't get to pass somebody just because they did a great movie once, like she did that shit.
Man, listen. Oh yeah, that's a whole episode that I'm not about to get into.
Mm-mm.
Things that they give people passes for. I'll take
right,
600, Alex.
Right, exactly.
Fill in the blank.
Right.
So okay, we've gotten past the Antifa blaming, Kimiko speaking. Seth Rogen is Sir Comes a Lot 779, and then the Crimson Countess is kidnapped and held for Soldier Boy as
bait,
bartering chip.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
a peace offering.
A peace offering.
Yeah.
And that peace offering is to get the Soldier Boy, to get Soldier Boy to help with the murder of Homelander, or what have you, because they don't really show us Butcher explaining to him what the plan is, right?
Yeah.
But I do enjoy him walking in, talking to Crimson Countess, and just her like over it. She already knows what's about to happen. Kind of deflecting, trying to blame the CIA, but she says she did it for free, and now I'm curious to know why.
No, I think it was because she thought she was going to get paid, but then the Russians screwed her and didn't pay her when she gave up Soldier Boy. She thought she was going to get paid, and then they just fucked her. And that's why he was so disappointed, because like, you bitch, you didn't even get paid for this. Like,
right, for sure. Well, because she also says that they all hated him, which makes me think he was like a Homelander type.
Yeah, probably did some pretty nasty stuff back in the war, for sure.
And because they were afraid of him, the easiest way is, oh, y'all know how to get rid of him? Here, take him. Bye.
Right. Bro has some bass in his voice, though. Yeah. That dude's got a deep voice. I love that they made him look exactly like Captain America. Like,
yeah,
just
coming straight out of Ice.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny to me you bring up his voice. When he was on the show Supernatural, my absolute favorite thing in that entire show was to hear him talk about his car, baby, or to call his brother Sam.
There you go. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Big booming voice.
And the other was Dean. I don't know. I forget which name he had to say all the time. But
they both kind of looked alike.
They did look alike. Yeah. They grew up together. What do we want from them?
Right.
But yeah, it was funny. Baby, this is a baby. I'm gonna stop. But yeah, the voice is iconic, and that's pretty much how he's gotten this far. Being a good actor who also, knows how to use the voice.
Yeah.
Find out in 30 years he's gonna be like, you know what? I'm just gonna do voiceovers. It works.
That would be all right, man. I wish I could be a voiceover artist. That would be amazing. That's such a cool gig, and then you get to work, do all different types of stuff. Kind of cool. But yeah, so Soldier Boy kills Scarlet, whatever her name is,
Scarlet Countess, Scarlett Johansson,
Crimson Countess.
Crimson Countess, yes. Yeah. Who? I never mind. I was gonna bring up the whole Seth Rogen thing again, but I'm just gonna let it go.
Nah, not necessary. He doesn't need to inject himself in things. But yeah. So basically, that's it, and it ends with Huey and Starlight sort of having
Well,
their quarrel.
yes, Huey and Starlight are having a spittle spattle because MM called her. Um, what is it? Butcher roofied MM. Whoa.
Mhm,
But all because we find out about the plan.
mhm.
And the plan is, again, like we already mentioned, to give up Crimson Countess on a silver platter to Soldier Boy to get him to cooperate and work along with their plan to try to kill Homelander. Um, and Starlight is not down with the plan. But in order for this to go down, uh, Huey's gonna uphold his end of the bargain and be consistent and tell her, well, that weapon we went to look for, he's that
That's it.
weapon.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't understand that because Starlight is always like contradictory to whatever the boys are trying to do, but she wants to be a part of the boys, but she doesn't want Huey to do certain things. And it's just like, to me, it almost feels like it's a contrivance just for Starlight to disagree
Yeah.
with every plan, with everything that goes on. And I just like, at this point, I'm like, okay, so you don't want him to use Soldier Boy to kill Homelander? What do you want to do
You
then?
want to do this?
What do you propose? Do you have a plan? No,
No,
you don't. You just poo-poo all the other plans.
that's a stupid plan. What's your plan?
Your plan got that speedster killed. Like her being sneaky and trying to create alliances is the reason that speedster dude got killed.
Yeah, you killed your
So,
friend.
yeah. So maybe take a back seat on this one, Starlight.
Maybe you don't know much about Chimp Country.
Maybe you don't. I
But
like that she was kind of like Carol Baskin.
oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
They made her like Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
Another thing that a reference that won't age well. So please, story, if you're
Season
gonna
3.
have references, just make sure that they're timeless references.
Yeah, season 3. It's full of them.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. She gives Huey an ultimatum, and Huey tells her he can't stay with her, and he's out because by any means necessary.
Right.
He
That
got
was
to
the
do this for what
mission.
he started for.
They got together under the premise that this was what was going to happen this entire time.
Yeah, thought we were always in this the whole time.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, they'll come around and it'll be okay, or they'll break up and it'll be okay. Either way, I'm not bothered by it. So whatever.
I think he needs to get powers, and him and Vicky need to get together.
Oh yes, the head popping chick. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, she likes him, so
She's really much so into him,
she's very
and
much into him.
she has better powers than Starlight's able to show.
And it doesn't seem like she's that terrible of a person, except for in season 2 when she destroyed that entire courtroom of people.
I mean, isn't that what everybody's done, including Huey, to get ahead?
I mean, yeah, sure, absolutely. I'm not playing any judgments on her. That's for sure. Oh, it was funny too because Starlight was like, "You're gonna go with him? He's a murderer." And I was like, "Hold on,
Lady, ma'am."
As I recall, you're a murderer too. I'm a
Aren't we
murderer.
all?
Everybody here is a murderer."
I'm a murderer. He's a murderer. He's a murderer. So we are murderers. Hey.
It's
Like
just
this
so
whole
weird like when she decides to draw some sort of moral line, and I'm just like, why are you doing that?
The line is she doesn't agree.
Right Yes. Yeah,
All right.
we'll see how those crazy kids sort it out in the next episode.
Next time on The Boys season 3.
Same boy time, same boy channel. Pause. Anyways, anything else before we wrap this up, man?
No, I want more explanation on why they gave up Soldier Boy. I want them to pick it up, but not a terrible episode, just not so far. Definitely my least favorite episode, maybe of the entire series.
Yeah, I think I'm there with you. There was just some things that were a bit too clunky. I think it suffered from the trying to be so close to what's currently happening right now. Guys, again, if you're making movies and stuff, it's called escapism. We want to escape reality. So when you interject political and social realities into our escapism, it takes us out of the experience. So Like, yeah, you're just removing us right from the whole experience when you're like, oh, hey, remember that this person exists, and hey, this is a big threat. Like, please don't. So, for future film and TV makers out there who might be listening to this, just remember that film and movies and TV and stuff like that, it's escapism. We want to see the fantasy. We understand what the real world is like.
Right.
And we know that it sucks. That's why we want to go watch fantasy stuff. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anyways, that is also my line to stop talking about it, because you guys are trying to enjoy a bit of escapism by listening to us, and we so much appreciate you. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. It really means a lot to me and Keelan. We've been working on this channel and working on these reviews for a couple years now. It's been a while, and it's been a pleasure doing it. And we have a lot of fun doing it, and we just hope that you guys enjoy these as well. If you do, be so kind, leave us a thumbs up on our YouTube page. It would really help us out. Hit that subscribe button and maybe even the notification if you think that you want to get notified about when we come online. Because YouTube is this way. If we're not getting engagement, nobody's seeing our stuff, and that's okay. But if you do enjoy, please engage with us, because then at least we get a little bit of bump of engagement, and then YouTube knows not to shadow ban every video that we do.
Right.
So please, again, if you enjoy this, hit that thumbs up, maybe even leave a comment. It helps our channel so much. You guys have no idea. But thank you again for taking this time out of your day to listen to us talk about all of this stuff. We got podcasts that we do in our collective that we will be rebranding soon, so you guys stay out there. I know there are probably a lot of you that are linked to the Thinkering Talks page on Facebook. We are going to be changing that page, but I'm still trying to figure out how to transfer everything from that page to a new page with new branding and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, we're giving you guys content 5 days a week. I believe Keelan starts our week out on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. with If Numbers Could Talk. You can catch him on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you get your your podcasts. He's on podcatchers, so you'll be able to find him. If Numbers Could Talk. He goes on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Be sure to give him a thumbs up, give him a comment, check out his stuff. Wednesdays and Sundays is this show, Screen Time Continuum, 8:30 p.m. We're giving you TV. We're going to be choosing something different maybe for Wednesday, but Sundays for the next few weeks are going to be about the boys. So stay tuned for that. 8 p.m. Sundays and Wednesdays, Screen Time Continuum, Facebook, YouTube, all those good spots. Dijon the Mustard, friend of the podcast and co-host of the podcast, has a Twitch channel called Strawberries and Coffee, and he streams Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. You can go check him out at Twitch, Strawberries and Coffee. Also on YouTube, Strawberries and Coffee. Friday nights is Exofathom Nights with me, Ayla, and Mike. 8 p.m. Friday nights. You can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, all that good stuff. You can find us anywhere at Exofathom. Then we got This Married Moment, Saturday morning, 10-ish. Saturday morning. It's an easy podcast for easy listening when you're maybe doing some chores around the house, maybe cooking breakfast. Pop that on, This Married Moment, on Spotify, on YouTube, on Facebook. That is with Keelan and his wife, Bobby. It's a great listen, so go check that out for your easy listening on the weekend. And then back on Sunday with Screen Time Continuum. See how we do that? We give you Monday off, and that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. We really appreciate all of you out there taking this trip with us through the Screen Time Continuum. For Screen Time Continuum, I am Nick.
And I am Keelan.
Good night.
Appreciate you guys.
Mm-mm.